I know surrogacy is altruistic in Canada, but how much compensation can the surrogates receive in terms of reimbursement?
So the surrogate don't get compensated, they get reimbursement. I would speak about the budget overall because I'm not a surrogacy agency, but the budget that you'll need to go through a surrogacy journey in Canada will be between 100 to 125,000 Australian dollars, and that includes everything. No top on it, no, it's not compensation plus expenses, it's everything, including clinics, lawyers, travels, flights, everything that you'll need.
Right. The surrogate in this doco talked about seeing something on Facebook that got her interested. I understand that you can't, like Australia, you can't legally advertise for surrogates in Canada in the paper, for instance. How do surrogates get recruited in Canada then?
I think...
does the parent have to go on Facebook and find this woman?
No, I think that when you contact an agency, they will help you find, and if you ask surrogates how they are, it's normally they heard from another surrogate their beautiful story of how they help, and they kind of want to be a part of it. I know that we're going to have a session later on, and we're going to have actually a surrogate from Canada. I think it's a great question that we can ask her, and you'll see. But it's mostly people hearing from other people, and people, surrogates will share their story on Facebook, and then people will see it and say, you know what, I want to do that. I want to give back.
Yeah. How long should people expect it takes to match with a surrogate in Canada?
I would say that the agencies that we work with, or one of the best agencies out there, will probably take up to 3 months to match, to do a match for surrogates.
Right. And who goes on the birth certificate? If you're Australian, you're going over there. Whose name's on the birth certificate in Canada?
So it's really up to the needs of the country of the intended parent side. So in Australia, for example, for Canadian, for people from the UK, Israel, you're only going to have the two, if it's same-sex couple, you're only going to have the two parents. Right. In Australia, you need also a woman on the birth certificate, from my understanding. No? Okay. No. Then it's going to be the two intended parents only. No surrogate's going to be on the birth certificate.
Right. And does the child get a Canadian passport?
Yeah. They'll get a Canadian citizenship, Canadian passport. They'll have dual citizenship.
Even though the parents are Australian?
Yeah. So the way that it works is that the baby will get a Canadian citizenship. You'll come back here with a Canadian citizenship, and you work the whole legal in here.
So how long would a couple or single need to be over in Canada from the birth till they can come back here?
So normally it will be minimum of 2 weeks, and normally it will be around 2 weeks until they get the passport and they can leave the country.
Right. That looked like in the video it was a pretty close relationship they had, these guys. Is that in Canada? Do most surrogates expect to have a close relationship with their intending parents?
I think it's very common. I think that because it's an altruistic journey, they don't get compensated for that. A part of what they do get is almost like, some will say creating of extended family, some would say that this is, but it's very important to have relationship. In fact, most of the agencies will actually, if you're going to say that you don't want a relationship with their surrogate, they probably will tell you then maybe it's better to go to the United States where you compensate surrogate and you don't have to have very close relationship with her. I think that sometimes the relationship can be, not the best relationship, but there's still relationship. And sometimes it gets so close, like this couple over there, that became such good friends between the surrogate and the intended parents. And that's actually very common. In fact, there is also it is common that a surrogate in Canada, after a great journey, will offer to do a sibling journey, and we'll do the second child as well.
All right. We're just about out of time. Has anyone got any questions for Nia they want to ask about that have come up for them? Based on, yeah.
As well? Oh, sorry.
No. So a surrogate in Canada cannot also be an egg donor. There will not be a clinic that will agree to that as a traditional surrogacy. You have to have an egg donation that has no relationship, no DNA relationship to the surrogate. A surrogate is just carrying, but you cannot have any genetic relationship to.
And do you know the cost between the Canada and the US in terms of being a surrogate? You said 100 to 125K in Canada.
The egg donation will be much less. Will be probably half of that, because donation as well, it's altruistic. They don't get compensated, they only get reimbursed.
No, I mean in terms of the 100 to 125K you said for the entire sort of 9 months. What would it be in the US? Do you
In
know?
the US, you're looking at, I mean, I'm not, in the US, you're looking at least 150,000 US dollars, and it can go up. So between 150, 180, I think, that's US dollars. So in Canada, it's really going to be half the cost of what will be to you.
Any other questions?
I do want one thing to mention, that Canada actually, we're the only place in the world that actually have something called two-live birth journey. It's not for twins. It's basically covering all the medical expenses for the first journey and then the second journey when you're ready. Because we understand that a lot of people want to have 2 kids, and it's better to do that, and you can save a lot of money by taking this type of decision up front, knowing that you're going to go and want to have 2 kids. I know that we have a breakout session, and we're also going to be there in the booth of Creating Babies Come True, but there is a breakout session of specific Q&A for Canada that I think that it's going to be great if you can join. And also, I'm here on Monday that be able to have face-to-face meeting to tell them everything they need to know about Canadian journeys.
Yeah, we don't want to set expectations too high. The wait time for a surrogate in Canada can vary a lot, from 3 months to 12 months. We've just seen that historically. It depends on who you're going with and what luck you have with matching with a surrogate. So it is very variable, but it can be quick. It depends a bit on luck and so forth.
There's some agencies that you're going to wait between 12 to 18 months, and there's some agencies that are going to be very fast. You can come to see me and I can tell you a bit more about that.
Thanks, Neil. That's terrific. Great.
Thank you so much.